The Federal Reserve recently gave us a major update, announcing earlier today that it would forego rate decreases. You see, I do believe that we will receive the rate cut decision next month, as I did anticipate in my video from yesterday. In a perfect scenario, when everything is going according to plan, I would wait to watch how this market actually responds to the rate decrease until June 17th. We do, in my opinion, go far higher. Once more trade agreements between the US and other nations are announced under that ideal scenario. Additionally, we witness equities rising to all-time highs. Additionally, as the M2 supply grows, liquidity will begin to rise sharply, supporting higher price action for cryptocurrencies overall. Since we believe that Bitcoin will become the dominant cryptocurrency by the end of June or early July, we are now also looking at altcoins. And then there's our old season and our bull run, which might culminate in a peak at the end of the year. In an ideal world, that is. We have no idea how this will turn out. We approach each day as it comes. Overall, though, we pay close attention to what the Fed will do in June since it's a significant event. However, it's encouraging to observe that the market as a whole is currently booming. As we can see, many antique coins have seen huge increases in value today. And let me just quickly refresh, for example, even within the last hour. Over the past hour, things have much improved. The world is a sea of green. This is due to Bitcoin's recent spike to 97.8K. Everyone was getting a little thrilled when it did hit around 98K. This time, I'm recording a little sooner. I'm probably an hour or two out, so by the time this does go up, we might witness higher price activity. However, if we truly examine the current state of affairs in this field, the first thing that stands out is that whales are purchasing. Whales are purchasing, as we know. In addition to purchasing Bitcoin and XRP, whales have also been purchasing particular cryptocurrencies. My attention has also been drawn to the whale activity on numerous altcoin wallets. So, over this whole period where we're just sort of chopping sideways, there's obviously buying going on in accumulation. For instance, the price action over the last year is similar to that of the March timeframe. I've explained my reasoning to you all because even if we go back to the March timeframe, for instance, we would still be selling off, and then we would be looking at the price action over here. Nothing is different. We're going to wake up here in a much bigger way, I do think. However, the question at hand is whether it will occur this month. If we look at the majority of the old coin market right now, we can see that it is beginning to wake up a little. It's encouraging to note that the old coin season index is beginning to go in that direction. Nevertheless, the problem here is that many old coins are still trapped at the same price as they were a few days ago. For instance, the chart for XRP looks like this. Nothing major at all. And we may say that H-bar XLM is the cause of the price action we witness on many ancient coin charts. Numerous ancient coins are somewhat trapped in this. Technically speaking, the sideways price motion is also nearly a downtrend. We're merely chopping in this manner. This is occurring as a result of the cryptocurrency environment. For instance, the total value of the cryptocurrency market is currently at 3.02 trillion if we go back over here. There's a good volume here. This market is undergoing some changes at the moment. It's great to see that. However, the majority of the old coin market, or many of the old coins we are examining, are still declining sharply. For example, let's quickly return to the daily even if we examine the CF Green and the market's recent performance. As a result, the top 100 is only up roughly 0.55% on the last day. The top 100 is up just 0.55%, which is why I say that even though we're looking at some nice moves here, like 10.5%, 14.6%, or 8.3%, just 1.3% more is in the top 200. As a point of comparison, we aren't really witnessing a lot of movement. Bitcoin is still trapped at major lows until we regain the higher highs on this chart, so it's kind of phony when it comes to altcoins and even Bitcoin. In regards to XRP, I will state that it is no more unique than any other old coin in this market. You may be whining that XRP is stagnating, but guess what? It's actually selling off, 99% of the time. Since we are currently tracking the old coin market, so is every other old coin in this market. This is the sum of the three. Apart from Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is the previous cryptocurrency market. And you know what? Does this chart show any optimistic price activity at the moment? Number. Actually, we're still trading below the $842 billion mark that we were at in March and throughout the month of March. By the way, this is a resistance level. We have been denying this, and at this point, we are merely chopping. And if this seems similar, it's because XRP is doing precisely that. The goal of XRP has been to surpass the March highs. Every time it has attempted to break out, it has been unsuccessful in clearing out a higher high on this chart. Therefore, we keep an eye on the old coin market to see if there has been a much wider expansion overall. And that also applies to XRP, HVAR, and any other ancient coin. Thus, we still have a great deal of work ahead of us. This $842 billion threshold must be cleared. We must focus on this next critical area, which is all opposition between 892 and roughly 952 billion. Following that, we will begin to observe some pretty significant movements on many of these charts. However, Bitcoin is the main focus here because, despite the fact that these charts are still somewhat dull, Bitcoin is beginning to gain traction on a daily basis. Some pleasant highs are beginning to fade. In actuality, we are building larger, higher structures every day, which is excellent to watch. We simply tap that first level now, which was approximately 98.5 kilohertz. This must be resolved. A daily candle near above this level is required. Our last time we truly seen a daily closing above this level was back in early February. Although it is excellent that we are beginning to move, much more work must be done before we can say with certainty that Bitcoin is in a highly bullish shape. Getting a daily candle close above 98.4K and 98.5K is the first stage in this process. After that, we take a closer look at the weekly. As for the weekly, we're looking at roughly 3 days and 20 hours away from a weekly candle close. I realize it will appear a little strange with some of these drawings because they're lower timeframe drawings. It would be a huge confirmation of a much larger expansion on Bitcoin if we were able to close above 98.5K. There is a chance that we will reach 102.7K, where we will examine whether we will reject from this level again, as we did in January, or whether we will clear this and aim for much higher highs. We kind of look back on December at that point. At roughly 109,000, we actually aimed to clear the WIC at that point, bringing our total to 110,000 plus. However, we must avoid getting ahead of ourselves since what is genuinely driving the market's movement? Is the Fed making the decision? Not at all. In actuality, the Fed made a bearish decision. Right now, we ought to be lowering rates. In light of this, is the Fed responsible for the market's movement? Is it solely due to whale purchases? As in, what's the real truth here? The truth is that Trump's recent confirmation is causing the market to move. And this is it. Shattering. According to President Trump, a significant news conference to announce a significant trade agreement with a highly regarded nation is scheduled for tomorrow or today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now many will say, okay, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, or it's going to be China. This is actually going to be Canada, I think. I'll explain why in a moment. But Donald J. Trump is here on Truth Social for a huge news conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Oval Office about a significant trade agreement with leaders of a large